In this video, we're going to install a brand new B&W trailer hitch, RVK3600. This is specific to the Ram, so if you have a Ram with a puck system, you might want to watch this. This is a great hitch. We're going to unbox it, we're going to install it, and then we're going to give you our review of it. And if you're wondering how we're going to give you a review, well, we've been B&W trailer hitch users for over a decade now. So we've got 11 years of on the road towing, hitching, unhitching. We'll tell you the way it is and why we went back with the B&W hitch. We'd like to thank B&W Hitch for sponsoring this video. This hitch came in a couple of boxes. Before we go further, let's be straight about something. Our old hitch didn't fail. 11 years never gave us a problem, and it would have kept going. Nobody needs to replace a hitch that's still working. This was a want, not a need. So if yours is fine, keep towing it. If you're buying new or just picked up a puck truck, this install is for you. B&W. B&W got its start in a garage back in 1987 with just two guys trying to make a living. Roger Baker was restoring classic cars, but that work was slowing down. Joe Works had come through some tough years farming, so they started building truck beds under the B&W name to help pay the bills and support their families. Back then, if you pulled a gooseneck trailer, you had a ball welded right in the middle of your truck bed. It was always there, but always in the way. Roger and Joe figured there had to be a better option. That led them to move the mounting hardware underneath the bed and create a ball that could flip over, out of the way, when you weren't towing. They called it the turnover ball. A few years later, they took the same concept, a hitch when you need it, a level bed when you don't, and applied it to their original fifth wheel hitch, the Companion. One attachment point, using the turnover ball platform below the bed. Roger retired in 1999, and in 2007, Joe started transferring ownership of B&W to the employees. Today, B&W's employee owners make all types of hitches and towing accessories in Humboldt, Kansas, just down the road from where it all started. We've had our Companion OEM for 11 years, and it's never let us down. That's why it's still in our truck and why we don't trust anything else. If you enjoy this content, hit the like button. It helps other people with your interests find us. We can unveil it now. Nice.
Yeah.
We just measure the front and back on the sides. Here. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to pry these up.
Why?
And this is what controls the tension on the arm. We can't close it, so what we need to do is we need to take this cotter pin out. There we go. And since it's tight, we're going to loosen this one turn. There's a hole here that the cotter pin goes through, so we'll loosen that. And we'll just kind of like hang it in there real quick. Still a little too tight. I've had these stick before. Yeah, it's stuck. That's it. Yep. There we go. That's how we want it.
I heard it.
You got a nice snug fit. And then you just bend the cotter pins back to keep them in the castle nut. That's called a castle nut. Okay, that's done. I like to put the baling clips on the outside. They ship them on the inside. Find it easier
You can
to
get
use.
to them easier.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, the instructions. There's a video you can watch for the professional installation on B&W's YouTube channel. I'll put that up there for you guys. You should always follow their instructions, not necessarily mine. And if you have questions, they're very easy to reach. They have a phone number, you just reach out to them with any questions. It's a very nice company to deal with. It's been 11 years since I've installed it, so I'm going to just recap the instructions. I did watch the videos. Yeah, that's the way we want it. There's one thing I take seriously, and that's everyone's safety. Our safety, the people around us. You don't mess around with this stuff. You do it the way the manufacturer says. You got questions, you call them. you have them check it. If you have issues, you go to an authorized service center and have them check it for you. They're very reachable. They're very helpful. You know, if you've got a problem, you just reach out to them and tell them. You want to be safe going down the highway. If you watched my last video about maintenance, these are what get covered with the lithium grease. This also sets the hitch head. We're all the way up at the top. We're going to verify it with a measurement after we put the head on it. But we wanted our hitch saddle, that's what I call it. I don't know if that's what it's called, but we want the hitch saddle about, I think it's between 18 and 19 inches from the bottom of the bed up. So that was the measurement I took. So that's where we want to be. Installing these is a bear. It's tight space to get back here to get those blocks in place. The instructions make it look very easy, but it is very tough. So once you get them lined up though, that's half the battle. Now we have to torque them. So I'm going to look at the torque spec, and then we're going to torque these down, and then we're going to move on to the hitch head. These bolts that hold these up are 110 foot-pounds of torque. So we're going to torque these down. That side's ready to roll. After we finish torquing everything down, we install the head leveling kit. This is a spring clip that attaches to the pivot arm closest to the driver's side cab. Here's a tip. Don't try to use a rubber mallet to tap this into place. You need to use a metal head hammer. I struggled with it for a little bit before I finally just grabbed the metal hammer and tapped it on. Once it's on, you line it up roughly, then you set your head onto the hitch and you do your final adjustments. The goal is to make your hitch head parallel to the bed of your truck. Once it's parallel, then you go underneath again and you lock those bolts in place. That holds everything together for you and your hitch is level for hitching up. And now for the final assembly piece, the hitch head. We set this on top, but first, we're gonna put some lithium grease on the pivot arms. B&W furnishes a little packet of lithium grease with this. You should do this every so often, depending on how much you tow, depends on how often you do it. We tow intermittently, so I do this 2, maybe 3 times a season, and our season runs from April to October, sometimes into November. First time setting the hitch on the head. Once we set the hitch head in place, we final adjust the head leveling kit to make sure that our hitch saddle is parallel to the bed of our truck. Then we pin it in place, and we're set and we're good to go. If you enjoyed this, hit the subscribe button. That way you get notified whenever we have something new coming out. Who knows what we're up to next? So we finally finished installing our B&W hitch. A couple of little obstacles. We wrestled with these arms. They're a bear to get in there. The blocks are just big enough to fit in this cavity, and my hands are big, so it's hard to get in here and reach behind to line up the bolts. Come over here and look. Those through bolt to a big block that goes vertically behind that. That was tough wrestling that in. I do remember doing that on my old hitch. Everything else fit together real nice. They gave us everything we needed, all the hardware, everything, full instructions. Again, B&W Trailer Hitches has a full video on how to install and how to set the head leveling, which ours is set nicely. So we're ready to go. Check out their website, B&W, and they have turnover ball. This isn't all they make. They make a whole line of products for towing. They handle everything for just about every truck. If you're not a Ram owner and you've got another brand, you've got GM or Ford, they make hitches for your needs too. If you found this video helpful, give us a like and share it with someone you know, someone who might be in the market for a hitch. Again, we don't recommend anything that we don't use, and we've used this hitch for 11 years. We've refreshed our hitch. We're so happy with it. We're not going to go with another brand. This is going to be our forever hitch. Made in America, Humboldt, Kansas. You can't get much more American than that. This is about the center of the United States. What better way to celebrate the 250th birthday of America than putting a nice new American-made product on our truck? Long ways to go. And a short time to get there. It'll be a little easier to see in my truck mirror. A little bit. When that arm closes, we're connected. There we go. Drop the pin. This is a B&W Companion hitch, by the way. Best hitch in the market. That's my lovely wife, Debbie, making sure I don't mess up. It's good, it's grabbed. Those claws grab the pin, it's good. I think I need to bump it up just a little, huh?